are listening to the Live and Level Gamers podcast in association with Gaming.com. See, we don't play those games. We just play those games. Level Head Game. Jon Shaw. K-Bomb 20. D2K. Jedi Knight. The Live and Level Gamers podcast, where gamers come to talk.
What's up, people? It's your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast, episode 86. We have Kwame Chu, we have Keith in the house as well. So, and hopefully other individuals jump in as the time collapse. But we ain't gonna take too long getting all introduced. Let's jump into it, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Keith. Let them know how you feeling.
It's me, Keith. Yo, I've been wanting to do this for a minute. What's going on, everybody?
What's up? Go ahead, Kwame.
It's me, Quan. How's everybody doing?
All right. And like you said, you know who it is, man. So, yeah, we got a lot prepared for you guys tonight. Hopefully, Jon Shaw jumps on tonight. He's been playing Duck, Duck, Goose here lately, so I don't know if he's going to show up. Guess he don't want nobody to ask him questions about the Pac South and see what he thought. You know, his hands on with the Switch and all that. So, hey, if he jump on, he jump on. If he don't, oh, well, we'll catch him whenever we can. But anyway, it's still going to make the podcast still going to be good. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. A lot of things been happening with Nintendo. They had a semi-investors meeting. President Kimishima came out and talked about a few things. Talked about the online, talked about the possibility of VR. We had developers come out talking about the Switch, and you know, they're shocked at the price. So we're gonna talk about a whole lot tonight, and we even gonna talk about a game that I've just been sitting here thinking about and wondering what happened to it and why haven't we seen a part 2? And that is PlayStation All-Stars. So, but before we get into all that, yes, we even got more to that. We got GameStop Circle of Life, new practices, you know, basically encouraging their employees to lie. But we get into that in a second. But let's talk about what we've been gaming on, man. Starting with Kwame. What you been gaming on, bro?
Still playing that Ni no Kuni for the wife and getting back into Terraria on PC.
Now, what's that? I ain't never heard of that.
Terraria, yeah, it's kind of like Minecraft in 2D.
Okay. I'm going to have to look that up. I ain't never heard of that.
$10 on Steam.
Man, I don't have a gaming PC. That's something I just haven't really investigated enough to know if it's something I want to do. I need a gaming PC for my Pro Tools and Photoshop, you know, with my music and stuff. I need a stronger rig, but I ain't never thought about doing PC gaming, man. Is it worth the hassle?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of games you like.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It depends on what genre of game you like, you know?
So you saying if I like basically the stuff that's coming to console, it ain't no point. That's what you basically saying.
Pretty much.
Okay, Keith, what you been gaming on, man?
Dude, I have still been gaming on Xenoblade Chronicles X. That game is daunting with a capital D.
Is it that big? It's pretty huge out here.
Dude, it is huge. And a lot of the stuff they have you doing, you have to, like, let's say you want to go to the next mission, but you might have to do like 2 or 3 infinity missions just before you can open up the main storyline. So instead of just trying to go through the game, there's so much other stuff you have to do before you can even tackle the main story. And it's fun. There's so much stuff you can do. So many things that you can, so many people you can talk to, so many people you can create relationships with, and it's fun. But man, it's if you don't feel like doing all that, you might not want to keep playing the game. It's one of those games that you get what you put in it. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
really sit down and focus on this game, it could be one of the greatest games ever. But if you're not looking for that, I'll probably pass it up.
Okay, that's what's up. See, my thing with that game, man, I wanted to buy it, but when I heard about the controls, man, the fact that you don't actually control the action, far as you're not physically striking the button to cause the person to swing the sword or to shoot the gun, is automatically being handled by the AI. I don't know if I enjoy that.
It's kind of a strategy. You know what I
Okay.
mean? The closer you get to certain enemies, you can, use your strike attacks. If you're further away, you can use your weapon attacks. But yeah, it's just basically a strategy.
Okay.
Once you get into it, you might actually enjoy it.
Okay. Now, supposedly the Xenoblade 2 is not going to be controlled like that. It's supposed to be more like the original Xenoblade.
Well, that's pretty much how the original Xenoblade was.
Oh, you didn't control that like that either?
No.
You didn't.
Y'all hurt my feelings right now, man. Oh,
I think you'd like it though.
I think you just got to try and that's one of the things I want to talk about if we had time, is that I think
go ahead.
Gamers got to step outside of our comfort zone sometimes. And as I was thinking about the Switch's lineup, and everybody was like, "Oh, it doesn't have a big AAA game and this, that, and the other," but I'm like, "But it does have a lot of different games, and if we just try them, we might actually enjoy them." And I get it, people don't want to just throw that money away. I get that, but
Right.
a lot of times you might find a game in there that you like, "Man, I didn't know this was so good. This is my game." You know what I mean? So
right. I mean, I feel like it does have that one AAA title with Breath of the Wild, but I feel what you're saying, and I understand what people saying. Like, do I really want to spend my money on 1-2 Switch? Do I really want to buy Bomberman? Do I really want to play, this, that, and the third? I've been really considering buying 1-2 Switch. I mean, if it's going to be the game that's going to demonstrate the actual haptic feedback with the Joy-Cons, I've been really considering should I buy the Switch and some extra Joy-Cons for my household. That'll be a way for my kids, my wife, and myself to sit around the TV and actually enjoy the Switch with maybe my mom, my aunt, because we get together a lot. So, and that's the way I can introduce them to the Switch. While when they leave, I can throw that Zelda Breath of the Wild in there and be immersed in that. And then when they come over, I have something else to kind of switch up. I don't know, hear the word switch up, so they can get who did that?
okay.
There you go. But they can switch up and we can throw on that and play that with them, man. So I'm strongly considering getting 1-2 Switch. But anyway, yeah, that's a good thought, Keith. We do need to step out our comfort zone, but at the same time, it's a gamble. I know we're not done with what you've been gaming on, but I want to say this. People got to understand there is a gamble that not only we as consumers are taking, but a gamble that the actual creators are taking with releasing their hardware or their games. They're taking the gamble that the Switch is going to sell, or the PlayStation 4 was going to sell, or the Xbox One was going to sell. All this is a gamble at the end of the day. So I might give Xenoblade X Chronicles a try. I guess when the price go down, which Nintendo games are evergreen, so I don't know when that's gonna happen. So, but we'll see, man. But I'm definitely gonna try Xenoblade 2. No matter what, I'm gonna try it, man. I need to step off into these JRPGs like that. That's a genre that I have avoided and kind of ran from. Like you said, is daunting. Is sometimes I feel like it's too overwhelming for me to really get into it and managing the inventory and all that. But with Breath of the Wild forcing me to do it to play Zelda, I'm kind of open to managing all this stuff. And so we'll see, man. Keith, we'll see. Go ahead, Kwame. What you been gaming? Did I already get you, Kwame?
Yeah, you already got me.
I already got you. So for me, I've been gaming on that Nier Automata. Thanks to Kwame, he got me right on how to say that last word because I was saying automata. Yeah, I was saying automata. That's how I was saying it, but it's automata. So The MA is actually a ME, and the auto is actually Tom. I got to get used to this. But anyway, I've been playing that, man. Dude, I downloaded it for the PlayStation 4. And if you have a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4 Pro, whatever, do yourself a service and go over to the store, the Play Store, find the game as a demo and download it. You would enjoy this game. Shouts out to the video game Her and Active Seeing. I was listening to their podcast and they were talking about this game. Now I heard about the game because Platinum said they were open to porting the game over to the Switch if Square Enix would pay for it. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on the game, and then I want to talk about what Nintendo should or shouldn't do and get y'all opinions when it comes to this game. First of all, if you're a fan of Bayonetta, if you like Bayonetta 2 or the original Bayonetta, you're gonna like this game, hands down. Platinum Games basically stripped the formula of Bayonetta and put it in this game and added other elements that kind of differentiate it from Bayonetta. Like there are 2D side-scrolling elements to this game where when you go out of the open world or a corridor fighting, when you got your swords, you got your strong attack, you got your weakest attack, and just like Bayonetta, you got a machine there, a companion there that shoots beams or bullets or whatever they are at the enemy. So you kind of got that element where Bayonetta got her guns, but it's a little different. So you got your strong attack, you got your weak attack. She could do that. I don't know if y'all know when Bayonetta do that dodge. She go into that, like, I don't know, I forgot what they called it, where she kind of break, huh? Quantum time is what it is. Say it again.
Which time?
Which time? Well, they kind of got an element like that with this character. I don't know the girl name, but if you time her dodge, which is dope, cause unlike Bayonetta, she kind of streams through or floats and guides through the stage longer if you hold, depending on how long you hold it. It's like you driving around like a boost rocket. It's pretty dope. But if you time it right, you could dodge enemies' attacks just like Witch Time. But when you plan in the corridor, then they take you into a part where you're in like a 2D Contra type of setting where you are using your companion to shoot at the enemies in a Contra-like control. Like, you know, you can shoot multiple angles from front to the top to all these degrees. It's like that, but you can also use your sword like Ninja Gaiden like the NES version of Ninja Gaiden. You could also use your sword that way. And you could do this all at the exact same time. You can hold the trigger and control. What's up, K-Bomb? You can hold your trigger and control the companion robot that's shooting like Contra, while the other, like your left, let me make sure I get my hand right. Your left analog is controlling your protagonist. The right analog is controlling your companion's gun. So while you're controlling your companion's gun, you can also be controlling your protagonist and using her swords all at the exact same time. So it goes into this like Contra setting. And then it got another element. I don't know if y'all remember this game on Atari where you shooting these asteroids. I think it was called Asteroids. Do y'all remember that game on Atari?
With the little not spaceship, with the thing at the bottom, and you were shooting as they come down. Well,
you was a spaceship in the middle, and you shot all these incoming meteors and asteroids and all that. Do you remember that, Kwame? I don't know if you remember that on the Atari.
I played it.
Do you know the name of it?
No. I thought it was Asteroid.
I think it was Asteroid.
Yeah, you talking about Asteroids, the old school game.
They had it on Windows. Yeah, they have it on Windows.
Yeah.
It's like it's all black and this little white space.
Right.
Big rocks coming at you. Yeah, that's Asteroid.
Or you could think Centipede or stuff like that. Well, what they do with this Nier Automata is it's 3 different types of games. They put you into these different ways of playing that you'll be like, man, this is totally different. Like you go from the corridor Bayonetta style fighting to the 2D Contra / Ninja Gaiden style fighting. Then they pull you into a they pull you into like a centipede. Asteroid is in my pocket. Is in my pocket upstairs. That's my son. Asteroid, like where you shooting, you using this companion to shoot all these orbs and different things coming at you from a top-down view, shooting all. It's pretty dope, man. But to really understand it, you would have to play it. To me, while this protagonist is new, I don't know her. I don't have no real rapport with her like I do with Bayonetta. The 20 minutes that I played with the game, I would say it could easily compete with Bayonetta and might, in some elements, surpass it. So, before I go into this topic with this game, let me see what K-Bum has been playing first. Then we continue the conversation. K-Bum, what you been gaming on, man?
So I've been gaming on mostly still playing Overwatch.
Okay.
That's still my joint. I ain't gave that up yet. I've playing 2K just a little bit. I haven't really touched Madden in a while, so it's been a little minute for that. I'm about to send back that Call of Duty. I'm done with that stuff. That's old news, player. I haven't played it in probably 2 months. So it's been sitting, my game file been just sitting there collecting dust. So I'm sending that back. I'm going to get that For Honor game that's coming out next week.
Ain't that made by Ubisoft?
Yeah, I believe that's Ubisoft.
I think I'm gonna get that too, man.
Yeah, and also that Rainbow Six Siege is free to play this weekend. So I'm gonna try to download that and try it out this weekend.
Okay. With that For Honor game, I know what it is, but I don't know if all the listeners have been keeping up with it, but kind of go into details on how that game is and what that game is about.
Well, that game is kind of like it is, but it's not. I was talking to a buddy about it earlier. I know you guys have seen Dynasty Warriors. You guys have seen that kind of game.
Yeah.
It isn't, but it's not Dynasty Warriors. For the same thing that you're kind of like the overpowered protagonist with, with lesser people out there, but it's a much more, I want to say, strategy-based game. Normally with, Dynasty Warriors, you can just swing and hack and slash and do whatever, but there's a rock, paper, scissors mindset to the action, especially when you're on the battlefield and then you meet another one of the captains. I guess is what they're really being considered, the captains or whatever. When you meet another one like that, they're not going to be a pushover like the minions are, and so you got to have to go through this rock paper scissors kind of battle with them. And what cool is that you can actually you can actually get beat up on. So if there's with the multiplayer, if there's like two. If you you can get attacked by two captains at the same time, which are normally human controlled people, if multiplayer. So you have to defend both of them off at the same time as you're being attacked, and hopefully get your teammates. So it's like I've heard people saying it's like a fighter, kind of like a Street Fighter Tekken type with the combat system, but it's also kind of like a Dynasty Warrior when you think about how you're kind of overpowered among all the multitude of people, but there are people that are your equal that you have to face off against. So what I've seen of it, I've watched several videos. I've watched it in E3. I've watched it in some of the other venues that they showed it. It looks pretty cool. It sounds a little different. I was talking to a buddy. He said he saw people playing on Switch, and they were saying that was a breath of fresh air. And so I'm willing to try it out. I got GameFly, so I'm gonna see how this game is.
Okay, now is it all multiplayer? Is there a single player story?
Yes, there's a single player. There's a single player aspect to the game. But I haven't really seen it.
Be online the whole time then.
That is correct.
Okay, cool. Because I'm thinking about I've been watching this game, man. It got the different historical type of warriors. You got the samurai, then you got the Vikings. You got the ninjas, and you got what they got these one barbarian like big old dudes that kind of heavy, kind of go with Mongolian like. I don't know, but I'm curious about it, man. So when you brought it up, man. But anyway, okay, that's what's up. So
yeah, that's cool.
Since you do own a PlayStation, have you got a chance to check out this Nier Automata game made by.
What is it called
You need
again?
to download that, man. Huh?
What is it called again, player?
Nier Automata.
Is it
But it's
Nier?
ERAUTOMATA, but it
Is
ain't.
that
It
the
don't
samurai
sound like it's
game?
spelled. Huh?
I think I've seen that the game you talked about a while ago that you played.
I talked about it today. I played it. Yesterday and the day before, but I talked about it this morning on a video. I was
Oh, okay.
just
This is
talking,
different. This is different. Okay. Yeah, I'm
dude.
looking at it.
You need to go download that K-Bum. Like real talk,
Square
man.
Enix. Okay.
Square Enix and Platinum Games is making it. Well, anyway, that's the game I was just talking about, and it leads into our first topic, man. Platinum Games, said in a statement that they are open to porting this. I think right now it was exclusive to the PlayStation and PC. I don't think it's coming to the Xbox One. So it was a PlayStation 4 PC game. And they basically told Square Enix that we're open to porting it over to the Switch. And after playing the game, I'm going to tell you the truth, whether it comes to the Switch or not, it's a gem on the PlayStation 4. And if you own a PlayStation 4, I think you'll be doing yourself a disservice to pass up on this game, man. It's pretty dope. Like, it's really dope, man. I'm really, and what I played of it is just like a 20-minute teaser. You ain't really fighting any real for real. Well, they do have like a transformer like robot boss that you fight towards the end, but graphically it's decent. It ain't nothing that's gonna blow you away, but it's definitely not ugly. The protagonist is beautiful, just as dope as Bayonetta is. Maybe not as dope, maybe not as interesting, but like again, we know Bayonetta, we don't know this character as much, but she has a lot of intriguing aspects about her. And it's a brother or another person that's in there too that I don't know if you're going to be able to use or do like a co-op type of feel to it. But it has all these different ways. It's like 3 different types of games being merged together as one game. You have the corridor hack and slash Bayonetta God of War type of game. Then you have the side scroller. I allude to Contra because that's what it felt like. It felt like I was playing a modern Contra, but with the option to play like Ninja Gaiden and on the NES. And then they had another spot where they went to a top-down view where they had all these enemies around you shooting these orbs and beams at you. And how you was doing was you was playing like asteroids, shooting all these orbs and beams as you floated around and dodged like the old school Atari and Nintendo games. And then it'll bring you back to a corridor and you go back to Bayonetta style, just taking names and whooping tail, man. I was like, man, this is really dope, man. It has every element that Bayonetta has and then some. So I don't know if it will be better than Bayonetta. I know the storyline was better so far, but I don't know if this character will measure up to Bayonetta, but it's definitely in that vein. So first of all, do you think, and I throw this at Key first, do you think Nintendo, with the lineup that they have right now and what we've seen projected for the duration of the year, will be smart to throw the money at Platinum Games or give the money to Square Enix or help Square Enix bring this game to the Switch? Do you think they need to wait for Square Enix to do it, or should they just be proactive and make it happen themselves? Because it seems like Platinum Games is throwing out a hint, not just at Square Enix, but also at Nintendo themselves. Go ahead, Keith.
Absolutely. Why miss out on the opportunity for another game to be on your console? But here's why I think it may not happen and why Nintendo probably won't be proactive. Because they might be coming out with a Bayonetta 3. And the way you was describing the game maybe reminded me of like the Wonderful 101. And I know that they may be possibly talking about getting another one of those too. So I don't know if they want to flood their console with similar type games. But me personally, I think Nintendo should throw that money out, get the game over there. Come on, Nintendo. Get that game.
Go ahead, Kwame. Do you think Nintendo should wait on Square Enix and Capcom, and Platinum to kind of work out something, or do you think Nintendo should go to Platinum and say, look, man, we heard you. If y'all can do it, we'll put the money up, bring the game over?
I think they might as well wait, because just like, the gentleman before me said, it makes no sense flooding the market with similar Me Too titles and whatever. They could try to get them to work on a Legend of Mana game. That's what I would like to see on the Switch.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Do you remember the old Secret of Mana / Legend of Mana series?
I had to look it up, man. You way more knowledge when it comes to these titles than me. You said Legend of Mana?
Yeah.
I know that I probably know about artwork than the actual name. Let me see.
Look up Secret of Mana. The second one is what it was known here in the States. It was actually the second one in the series. We got it as the first one.
Mana. Okay. Let's see if I'm spelling that right. All right, let's see. Okay. I know the artwork. I've seen this game. Platinum makes this?
No, not Platinum. I said if Square Enix is going to bring anything, I'd rather them bring that.
Okay. I got what you're saying. All right. Okay, K-Bomb.
I think it would be smarter than to. The thing is, having more games, yes, it will be similar. But having more games for people to choose and play on, to me, is nothing but a good thing. I think having that option for people, because people may not have heard this game, or people may have heard this game, or they may have a preference towards one or another, but having multiple games that people can actually go out there and spend their money on, especially for a fresh system coming up against two systems that's been out for years. Having games just on your console for a lot is a victory within themselves. And so I've been saying for a while, I think Nintendo should get into the market of, putting more money down to get games over, because like we said before, Nintendo is the only company that only does games. So I really think they should be more proactive with securing licenses and getting games over that may even be on a different console, but it's getting more on their system so that people have a multitude of games to actually play. Just my stance.
I'm gonna have to go with K-Bum on this one, man. I feel what you saying, Kwame and Keith. I feel what you sparked with, not kind of oversaturating the space with a similar game. But let's be honest, when has Nintendo ever worried about that? So with Mario and side scrollers, platformers, stuff like that. So, but I don't think Bayonetta 2 is coming no time soon. If Bayonetta 2 or 3 is coming, it's probably gonna come sometime next year and probably deep into the year. Now, I would doubt that we would see it early. It's a possibility, but I doubt it. And if Platinum Games is already throwing out hints that they can port this over, to me it says that Platinum Games has already played with actually doing it. Like maybe I already tested it to see if it was doable, and they have done it. So basically, it seemed like they were throwing more a hint at Nintendo, like, look, hey, I know we're working on this, then the third for you, but right now we have this game coming to the PlayStation 4 and the PC, and people want to see parity and want to see games on those platforms show up on this platform. Here we got this great game that is going to generate and turn heads. It might not sell a whole lot, but it's going to be a great game, and it could be a great addition to the Switch while you wait on the other games that are coming as well. So I don't see where it can hurt. I can see where it could definitely help, because looking at what Nintendo has coming to the Switch right now, Nier is by itself. There's nothing like that on the Switch at all. Like projected for the year that we've seen, there's nothing like this game on the Switch. It would literally take a Bayonetta or a Ninja Gaiden or something like that to fill that void to have this type of game. So I think they should make the move, man. Be honest with you. So I had to roll with K-Bum on this. So let's do this, man.
Wait, hold on. Oh, wait. You mean Levelhead doesn't agree with me? What is going on today?
Yeah, man, I'm agreeing with K-Bomb Clinic, man. I got to roll with no K-Bomb on this, man. I think you was right.
That's funny.
I think they need to do that. Go ahead, Keith. What you saying?
No, I was saying I think Nintendo should do it, but I was just trying to give a point as to why they probably wouldn't. Of course,
Right. I understand. Okay. Yeah, I think they should do it. But like I said, if you own a PlayStation 4, and let me say this, man, we gamers, bro. We gamers, we have preferences, but don't miss out on good games because of a preference. Go try out the demo, play it for yourself, and if your boy is lying, let me know. But if you love Bayonetta 2, you gonna love this game, and that's hands down the honest truth, man. So if you're on a PlayStation 4, don't turn off the podcast right now. But when you get done, because I don't know how long it's gonna be up in the demo on the demo store or on the store for a demo, go try it out, man. And I think it comes out in a few days. I mean, in March.
Yes,
March 7th
March
or something
7th
like that.
is what I saw. Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's downloading right now. March 7th.
So yeah, man, it's dope. So anyway, let's continue to go. Let's jump on this game. Stop. So I was hearing about this, and I think Kwame has heard about it. I'm pretty sure K-Bum and Keith has heard about it too. So they have this new strategy that they're instituting with their employees where it's called Circle of Life. And the idea is to push the employees to sell more used product, almost intentionally lying to the customer to generate more perks and more. I guess they get certain things if they sell more used product. Am I right about saying it like that?
The money goes to them if they're selling used games. The money isn't going to developers. It's directly to them.
Right.
Every time it's recycling.
Right. And don't the employee get some type of reward or something like that?
Now that part I'm not sure of. You have to ask one of the other guys.
Come on, man. Doesn't the employee get like some type of reward for doing this?
Actually, they get penalized if they don't, according to the article.
Okay. Oh, they get penalized if they don't do it. So they basically forcing their employees to lie to the customer so that GameStop can get the full dollar of the game being sold by pitching the used game, or going so far as to lie and say they're out of the new game so that they can sell you the used game. So let's talk about this, man, because I'm against shopping at GameStop. I only go to GameStop unless it's just a last resort. That means Best Buy is closed, Toys R Us is closed, Target is closed, Walmart doesn't have it. And even in that, I might even go even more extreme mom and pop stores before I go to GameStop to find something. So what does it say about this company that they're willing to go to these extreme measures to not only rip off the customer, but put their employees in a position where they literally have to lie to the customer or be put in position to get punished for not doing so? I'm gonna throw it to Kwame, then we jump to Keith and then K-Bum. Go ahead, Kwame.
I don't like the practice, period. I mean, it puts them in an awkward position. And the thing is, I've dealt with a lot of these people over here at GameStop over the years. And, for, some type of a working business relationship, you could say, with them when it comes to like buying my games from these individuals. And I know they ain't going to lie to me, right, and throw me under the bus. But to see them put in that position,
Man, I mean, I don't get it. To me, I think these practices should be legal. Be honest with you. Like, remember when they were intentionally, I think it was, what that game that Nintendo brought up? I think it was Xenoblade, the original one, where Nintendo only made so many copies, so they started making their own copies and selling them as used.
Wait, you said they started making their own copies?
Yeah. They started to print, or I don't know what you would say, duplicate the games themselves, and they sell them as used games, but they were selling them for more than what Nintendo was selling a brand new game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's like $100 some.
Yeah, taking advantage of, and you can kind of blame Nintendo for not realizing the want for the game, but GameStop totally capitalized off of it, and it wasn't even the real copy. It was a copy of the real thing. They were making their own copies, selling used games for like $100-something, man, and making all profit off of it.
That's crazy.
So, Keith, give me your thoughts, man. Go ahead, man.
Before I give my thoughts, I want to read something. I'm just now reading up on it, and this stuck out to me. It said, "We also tell customers we don't have copies of new games in stock when they are on sale. For example, Watch Dogs 2 is currently $29.99 new and $54.99 pre-owned. We just tell them we don't have a new one in stock and shuffle them out the door." Wow. Wow.
Yeah, like you kind of breaking up and going out.
That's crazy. Like, dude, gaming is an expensive hobby, and you robbing me? Like, come on, man.
Right.
But yeah, man. Maybe we should boycott GameStop.
That's
my thoughts. We should boycott GameStop.
Man, we need to do something, man, because I can't see how this is not illegal. I don't see how this practice is even remotely fair to the customer and even lines up with proper protocol or proper practices with a business. But go ahead, K-Bun. What do you think, man?
All right. I'll say what I think, and then I'll say what kind of probably should happen. So what I think about this, I think it's absolutely outrageous that a company can straight lie to you in your face and tell you, get you to buy their stuff instead of selling you what they actually have. But to me, us as gamers, we should have smelt the crap that GameStop has been selling us for years. I know I stopped shopping there for a long time now because the practices back then was garbage. And the only time I ever went to a GameStop was just because of midnight release. That's the only reason I pretty much go there. But like something has to change because this policy is one thing. I think it's terrible for the company to. I think Kwame Shu said it. I think it's terrible for the company to put their employees in this kind of position because what they're saying is that their employees are being penalized. One of the comments in the article said that if a new copy is sold by one of the employees, they need to make up that new copy by selling multiple used copies. So even if a new copy leaves the store, the employee is now penalized and has to make up for those new games by selling more used games.
Was this leaked or was this GameStop actually showing or sharing this practice? Like, did one of the employees leak this information? Like, how did we find out about this? Because I know maybe we can't answer it, but I just can't see GameStop allowing us in to these practices just openly, like telling us what they do. Like, somebody had to have leaked this stuff.
Yeah. I believe it was like an email sent out to the like the managers, and somebody leaked the information out. That's what I'm getting from it.
So basically, if this is all pans out to be true, GameStop can be in trouble, legally in trouble.
I hope so, and it's kind of lead to my second part I wanted to say is that.
Go ahead.
My second part was that I really think the publishers should take a stand against this because, in the long run, they're losing money. Because, if they're not selling new games, the publishers are not getting money. All used game sales, from my understanding, all go to GameStop. None of that goes back to the publisher. And that's why they invented that whole $10 system. Remember back in the PlayStation 3 days, it was that $10 to get online. That was the publisher's way of getting money back because GameStop was stealing all of it. And so they introduced Project $10. That was EA slogan, where they charge you something extra or gave you something extra if you bought the game new. That was their whole mindset. Or they charge you $10 if you bought it used, like online, to play online. You know, that was their policy. And so what I would like to see is, you know, maybe it's a good thing, a bad thing, but the publishers take a stand behind this and say, if you're not going to play fair, you're not going to do right by the consumer, then we're not even going to allow you to have our games. That'd be a bold statement.
But that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that ultimately affects us. Like if they don't take a stand and say you can't sell our games anymore, but they continue to sell their games new and used, and if they're not making any profit, and they're going to look and say, well, people don't want our games, but people have bought your games, but you don't know it.
Right. You won't
that
know
affects
it.
That's true. That's good. That's a good statement.
Now, okay, question would be, is GameStop buying the product already? So let's say Nintendo ships, let's say Sony ships, or not Sony, but EA ships 20 million Call of Duties. Did GameStop pay for that already?
They probably did, but you know, you can get a bulk discount, I believe. You know, if you buy a bulk,
right.
you get a discount.
So that's the reason I'm asking that is because if they've already bought the product that's on their shelves, then the company has already made the money that they're looking to make, right?
No.
Okay, explain.
Understand. So when it comes to the shipping and so a portion of that money the company gets when Best Buy or GameStop buys it. The rest of the money comes when they actually sell it.
Okay.
And so,
all right, I got you.
Yeah. So they're getting some money from the initial purchase, but they're not getting all of it until the actual item is sold off the shelf.
So Best Buy is paying a price to have the merchandise on their shelves to hold to secure it for their shelves, but they're only paying so much of the purpose, and then then when we come in to buy it, then EA or Activision or whoever gets the rest of the money from the sale.
That's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. I don't know. Corman, do you know about this? I don't know. Because I know with hardware, I know Xbox for a bit it was projected that they sold so many, and it was based off what was shipped to the store, not what was actually bought by a customer. I don't know if y'all remember that. Like, what was they were saying, well, we have sold this many, but that was still sitting on store shelves,
right?
But they could count it as sold merchandise. So I don't know.
Yeah, I talked to a guy who was a small business guy, and for him we were talking about Magic. And so he had to go and, he buys it, but he buys it at a certain price. But then some of that profit still has to go to back to the company. And so, I mean, that's my understanding of it. It may not be the same when you come to the bigger companies because there's a lot more money behind it. But that's my understanding of it. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments or whatever like that.
Yeah, I stopped going to Best Buy. GameStop. When I went in there, it was for the Wii U. I went to buy Assassin's Creed 3 because I wanted the Ninja Gaiden 3, but everybody was sold out. So I went back. Me and my younger brother went in there. He was down visiting. I was trying to show off the Wii to convince him to buy one. So I went to buy Assassin's Creed 3, and they had the case on the shelf. And so I took the case up. I was like, I want Assassin's Creed 3. They go into their thing. They pull out a disc and if y'all know anything about this, one of those sleeves that you buy from Walmart that's, you know what I'm saying, put it in the case and then sold it to me as brand new. And so I said to the lady, I said, hey, that's not. I said, why are you selling to me this for new? She's like, well, it hasn't been played. It's brand new. We just opened it to use the box as a display box. I said, well, once you opened it, once you broke the seal, it's no longer new. It's used. She's like, well, we can technically do this. So I didn't really have a choice because I was at a crunch. I wanted the game, and there wasn't no place else open. So I went on and bought the game. But I was mad, and I never really went back to GameStop really since that moment to buy anything. If I can buy it at Best Buy or Toys R Us or Target or Walmart, I will go there before I go to GameStop and give them any of my money. So I don't get their practices, man. I think they should be investigated. There was an article back in 2012 where they were suggesting that if the government was to investigate and monitor that, they can actually probably would find legal actions to sue GameStop for their practices. So it's widely believed that the practices at GameStop is illegal, but I don't understand how they're getting away with it. But we can move on, man.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
There's two options. I know K-Bomb mentioned earlier that he uses GameFly, and Jon Shaw wrote an article on Full Effect Gaming talking about how you can cut costs on games. And then there's also the Best Buy Gamers Club. I don't know if y'all know about that, but it's $30 for 2 years, and you get points and you get discounts on brand new games when they first come out. So
yeah, I've heard of that.
If you're worried about that, you don't have to go to GameStop. You can go to Best Buy and save points and get discounts on brand new games. So I'm about to sign up.
Don't go to GameStop, people. Stop going over there and buying their crap, man. Matter of fact, they don't even take care of the stuff, man. Don't go there. Don't buy nothing from there. Anyway, I bought the order from GameStop. I need to stop playing. I bought it used. Got it for $10, but I did go to GameStop and get that game. But anyway, don't be like me. Don't go to GameStop. Anyway, let's go to the next topic. What do I got down here? Okay. Let's get this out. Since we still with this, we kind of left a game that's on Sony. I want to go back to a game on Sony. And I want to ask this question, because I'm really curious of why haven't we seen another entry into this series? And I got K-Bomb here, and maybe he's played the game. I've never played PlayStation All-Stars, but I wanted to. And I was even under the mind to go see if I can find it for a reasonable price somewhere, but I haven't seen it anywhere. And I'm curious, with the success of the PlayStation 4, why haven't we seen a PlayStation All-Star games? Like, what has happened? Like, I know there was a lot of drama around the game. I know that they closed the studio or some with the studio that made the game. But what was the problem with PlayStation All-Stars? Why didn't it catch fire? And why wasn't it able to do what Smash Bros. Did, doing the kind of similar with a similar idea? I'm gonna throw this at K-Bomb first, then I go to Kwame, then we go to Key. Go ahead, K-Bomb. First, have you ever played All-Stars, PlayStation All-Stars?
You muted.
Sorry. So, yeah, I was on mute. My bad. I was talking. My bad. We all good.
Okay.
We back. So first, I'll make a statement that that I did not play it, and I'll back that not playing it up because what I heard about the game from people who played it, that it was just a rip-off version of Smash. And so I actually was like, well, I don't want to play just a rip-off version of Smash. I want something that is close to it. And I did hear some reviews that it was close to being as good as Smash, but it wasn't Smash. And so I kind of stayed away from it and not play the game. But as far as why haven't we seen any more? I think part of the problem is that there's no, outside of what they had, there's no recognizable brand when it comes to Sony. A brand, a hero or a brand to market, other than
a mascot.
A mascot. There we go. That's a better way to put it. They don't have a mascot anymore. They had it back in the PlayStation 1 stage when it was Crash. You know, in the PlayStation 2 era, the PlayStation 3 era started to become God of War, started to become the mascot. But you know, really since then, you know, God of War 3 was the last really good God of War, I might say. The other ones were just add-ons to the story, pretty much. But they don't have a recognizable brand mascot when it comes to that. And so the way you market a game like that is through the mascots. And Nintendo has a long history of mascots that they can continue to pull from, and even starting to dab in other people's mascots. And so, I mean, part of me makes me feel like that's part of the reason. And I was trying to pull up some sales numbers to see, you know, how well it actually did. Because, you know, without that, I mean, that could be part of the reason why they haven't made more. If it doesn't sell, you don't make any more copies.
Yeah, yeah. Look up that, and I'm gonna get Kwame in here, man, and get his thoughts. Yeah, look and see what they did. So I know they sold. I think I want to say like 500,000 or something like that. But go ahead, Kwame. Are you still here? He might be occupied. Go ahead, Keith.
I never played it, but I was watching a review before we got on, and from the review, it sounded like they said it was a technical fighter. That probably turned some people off. And I think, if I can remember, because I kind of backed out of the review a little bit, but I think they said, you know how like Smash, you gotta beat them up, like get their points high, like over 100 some points, and knock them off. I think on this one you have to use a special attack. So it's like no matter how hard you're beating somebody, you got to use a special attack. I could be wrong. Somebody in the chat.
Yeah, you was right. You had to use. You couldn't just beat them. You had to finish. You had to use a finisher to actually take somebody out of the game.
Okay.
To actually win. Yeah.
So that could be. You know, it's kind of Smash. It's like hardcore and casual, and to me, this seemed like it was just hardcore. You know what I mean? And it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't. From what I'm saying, like I said, I haven't experienced the game myself, but just from looking on it, like it wasn't. It didn't have the casual part.
All right. What are people saying down in the comment section? What are they saying? Like, what are you getting from them in the chat?
I'm not seeing nothing.
Yeah, I was. If anyone's played it, you know, let us know if you played it, because we're hitting a bunch of zeros up here of no one playing the game. I'm actually looking at some of the reviews of it, and you know, it's lukewarm, so it's like seven out of 10, and you know, 6 out of 10. I did just read an article talking about it did sell over 1 million, but that could be 1,000,001 copies. So that's not saying much. But I think it was just a real lukewarm reception, and you know, Sony has already had issues with producing first-party games, and so when you look at what you could be producing, which is like a Killzone or you know, what they're producing right now with Horizon, and taking a stab at, you know, the Order, this kind of falls back and out of line, you know, and not, you know, well received by others. So that's kind of the feel I'm getting from it.
Do you feel like it was just, you kind of alluded to it? Do you feel like because I feel like the same thing happened with the Move as well, because it was so like what Nintendo was doing that the PlayStation audience just refused to acknowledge it or buy into it. Because looking from a distance, I haven't played it either. I wanted to play it. I mean, they might not have any characters on it that screams PlayStation, maybe outside of Nathan Drake and Kratos, but I watching the game, watching trailers of the game, as much as a lot of the hate came from, you know, Smash Bros. Extremists and Smash Bros. Purists, I still saw a game there that looked pretty cool. And the testimony that I heard is it definitely wasn't Smash Bros. It wasn't as tight as Smash Bros, but it was definitely a good game. So I just always been puzzled that we have heard nothing like the game never existed.
Right.
Like,
but Yeah. I'm looking at the roster of characters. So you have to understand the roster of characters. There's a lot of third-party
Right,
characters
it
on the
is.
roster. BioShock is
You
on
bring up
here.
another question too, K1. You bring up another question. I'm gonna ask. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying BioShock. One of the big guy from BioShock. Dante for Devil
Right.
May Cry. I'm just naming the third-party people. Hayachi from Tekken. Isaac from Dead Space.
Man, I forgot about him.
I don't know if Gravity Rush is a third-party game. I think it is. Who else is on there? Raiden from Metal Gear Solid. Where this guy from Medieval. I think Sly Cooper is first party. Ace Escape. Twisted Metal. Yeah. And that's as far as third party. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So let me. This brings up another question. And I made this statement in the last podcast and on a video of my own. Does a game like All-Star prove that third party is first party on systems like the PlayStation and Xbox One?
Well, I'll let someone answer. I kind of been talking a lot.
Go ahead, Keith. Whoever want to take back of that.
Kind of like when I never thought of it like that, but kind of in a way. But I have my own thoughts about first party and third party. But I'll put it to you like this: since Sony came onto the scene, third party kind of flocked to them. So in a way, you can say that because I'm sorry, I just ate a French fry too, so I'm trying to swallow it. In a way, these games are home on PlayStation. Yeah, I know Xbox is out there, Sega was out there, and even Nintendo has some of these games. But a lot of these games that we call third-party games are really home on PlayStation, and they sell more on PlayStation.
Right.
And in this generation, they perform better on PlayStation. So in a way, like I said, I never thought about it like that, but you're kind of right.
Well, let's go with the mindset that you're going. We got more. We're gonna go to other topics. Don't worry about people. We're gonna go to other topics. We're gonna get some switch in. But I'm really curious about this. To me, one guy in the chat room said something. I want to quote what he said. Anthony Skylander King said, "I played it. I liked it, but didn't know too many other characters or the players." I feel that way, and I know this might be crazy. I don't know everybody that being on Smash Bros. So, but I like what he said. He said, I played it, I liked it, even though I didn't know all the characters. But a lot of the characters that K-Bum just named, even though I lean towards Nintendo, I knew all those characters in PlayStation All Stars. I knew where the
BioShock.
I knew the character the Big Daddy was from BioShock. I knew Kratos. I knew Nathan. I knew Sly Cooper. I knew the clown from
Twisted Metal.
Sweet Tooth. I knew who else. Name some other ones you named.
Let me go back to it. The Isaac from Dead Space.
I know Isaac.
Dante
from Devil May Cry.
Yep.
So in a sense, some of these were some very, very popular games with popular lead role and protagonists. So in a way, those characters might have been a little bit more recognizable than the characters that like some of the characters from Smash. So can we literally say it was the characters that?
But you have to understand, though, when we're talking about Nintendo, we're talking about iconic characters.
Okay.
We're not talking about good characters. We're talking about iconic characters with nostalgia. And so when I'm playing Smash, that kind of
made me shut up.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel with that, And I'm a Sega guy, but those characters on Smash are nostalgia, man. Like you would love what. When you saw little Mario on Punch Out, you wanted to use him. Don't lie. You saw it. You wanted them.
Yeah.
And so to have them all together fighting each other, man, like I'm a fan of Smash. I like Smash. That's one of the few Nintendo titles that I actually get excited for. It's legit.
I'm asking the question because I feel like there should have been more success for this title than it was, and the fact that the title was treated like it never exists is really amazing to me. Like, it's one thing to it didn't do good, and we're gonna try to improve it. Like okay, like Little Big Planet,
right?
That was their approach to create a protagonist to not necessarily to compete directly with the Mario and the cuteness, but it was created, and they don't treat Little Big Planet like he doesn't exist, even though they ain't messing with him like they used to. Yeah. They don't treat it like it didn't exist. They treat PlayStation All-Stars like it never was ever a game. You know what I'm saying? Like they threw that, they buried that out back with ET somewhere with them all the guitars. So I don't know, man. It was just a thought that came to me. I was just curious, like, what has happened to the point that we don't even hear about anything about this game? That's amazing to me. So, okay, so let's move on, man. I don't know. Quan, man, you back? You got anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, I'm back. I was just talking to my daughter on the phone. That's all. PlayStation All-Stars is the redhead stepchild of the Sony library.
That's funny.
There you go. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. They could have done something with it. They didn't bother with it. Not much we could say, past that.
Do you feel like had they not tried to be just a simple clone Smash Bros, but actually tried to craft their own take on what a Smash Bros does, even though they did kind of do that, but for the most part, it was just, let's take a whole bunch of characters, throw them in this world and like Smash and let them go in and we can generate. Did you think that was the problem? Or because I remember one scene where they literally had in the studio, the developers had Smash Bros set up on the Wii as playing the game, literally ripping most of their ideas straight from Smash Bros. Like they showed a picture in the development studio, Smash Bros set up and being played. So they were literally using Smash Bros as the foundation or the template to make the game, and it still didn't succeed.
Level. Let me help you with this real quick. This is the same company that brought us PlayStation Move.
I brought up the Move.
Yeah, he did.
So that's what I'm saying. They brought up, they made the PlayStation Move. So you surprised?
I just wonder why they. Anyway, at least the PlayStation Move has found life with the VR. PlayStation All-Stars is, man, we haven't heard nothing like this game never existed. But anyway, let's continue. Let's go here, man.
Recently.
What's that?
What was that?
I said it was on a milk carton recently.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. So let's go here, man. Super Bowl is this Sunday. First of all, I need to figure out who y'all going for. Let's go here first. Who you going for? I'm gonna start with Keith. Who you rocking with?
I don't even know who in it.
Dang.
What? The Patriots and Falcons. Oh, okay. Patriots, Falcons.
It's underdog, ain't they? Yeah, Falcons. I'm going Falcons. Yeah.
Falcons. Okay. Quan, man, who you going with, man?
I'm not really into football.
Okay. Jeez. Man, is it just me and K-Bum football? I know Jon Shaw is one. Who you going for, K-Bum?
Not the Patriots.
Yeah, you like me. That's my boy, man. I wish I could shake your hand. I'm anti-Patriots, man. I'm all anti-Patriots. Anyway, so Super Bowl's this Sunday, and this is the time where a lot of the biggest commercials of the year show up. This is like commercial central, like, cause this is the biggest spectacle, I guess, in cable, to be honest with you. Super Bowl is probably generates the biggest ratings of any show ever, you know. So anyway, I remember the one time they showed Godzilla for the first time, not the recent one, but the one way back in like 1999, 2000. I remember they showed Godzilla walking through the skyscrapers, and I went nuts over there. But anyway, this is going to be the big to-do. Well, Nintendo has a commercial. How many people seen it?
I have.
You have? K-Bun, you seen it?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen it all the way through.
All right, Keith, you said you seen it?
Yeah. And the
Now let me ask y'all a question. First of all, we get into what does this say about Nintendo's approach now and how serious they taking it. But do you feel like you have been robbed by seeing it already? Like, ain't the point is to see it at the Super Bowl? Like, why are we already?
Man, ain't nobody doing that no more, man.
Okay.
Last year, I saw almost every Super Bowl commercial for the Super Bowl.
Okay, this is a first for me. Like, how are we always seeing the Super Bowl commercial and the Super Bowl ain't happened yet? But so you say this is a norm?
Yeah, and it's a couple years ago they started, and they would post on Twitter, "Hey, this is our Super Bowl commercial," you know, before the Super Bowl. So,
okay, well, okay.
T-Mobile just released theirs. I saw it on Twitter.
Okay, well, at least okay. If Nintendo ain't the only ones doing it, then I'm fine. But I was saying, like, Nintendo, can we be shocked? You know, like, wow, Nintendo has a commercial at the Super Bowl. But anyway, so let's get into this, man. You know, it costs a lot of money to secure an ad during the Super Bowl. You dropping some bones to do this. I actually seen the commercial. I think I definitely think it's a good commercial. Definitely better than what they did for the Wii U, and it has a balance of not appealing so much to not being oversaturated with kids and moms and pops. It kind of had a balance of millennial, a dad and a son playing a group of college students in here. It kind of harkens back to the 3-minute teaser that they had back in October. So, first of all, did you like the commercial? Those who've seen it, Corman, did you like it?
It wasn't that bad. You know, it served its purpose.
Okay, Keith?
Yeah, I like it.
K-Bun, what you seen? What did you like?
Yeah, I rewatching the whole thing, and I like it. That Zelda looks so beautiful.
So I liked it. So what does this say? Okay. First of all, the first question I want to ask is, where do you feel like Nintendo was thinking with the Wii U versus how they're marketing the Switch? Does this prove that Nintendo didn't know how to market the Switch? Did you feel like did this prove that Nintendo was confused by their own device? Like, we can we can talk about the Wii U because it's done. Nintendo is in the production on it. Nintendo is basically sent it off and shot it with the arrow of fire. It's consuming in a ball of flame going up to the guys. All right, so so we can talk about it now. You know, it's going up to the great what they used to call that what they say that when I'm going up into you seen I'm stuck. Y'all seen Mad Max? I want to die and go where?
Valhalla.
So Switch is in Valhalla now. So we not Switch, not the Switch, but the Wii U. So we can talk about it. Now, with what Nintendo is doing with the Switch as far as marketing, I would just sit there at work like, what if Nintendo would have done all this for the Wii U? So, come on, man, answer this. What was missing with the Wii U that prohibited or hindered or stopped or stalled Nintendo from marketing it like they're marketing the Switch?
They kind of messed up in the sense that they did not distinguish the Wii U gamepad as its own entity with its own console versus it being a peripheral for the original Wii. That was their mistake.
So paying so much attention to the gamepad, it and giving it the crazy name Wii U, people, you saying people just couldn't distinguish what was what?
They couldn't get the fact that it wasn't an add-on to the original Wii.
Okay.
Because a lot of people you see in them stores, they still to this day would swear to you that the gamepad was an add-on to the original Wii, which is why they didn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm not arguing. I'm trying to think. Okay, because I made similar statements, and I believe that is correct. But I don't feel like that's okay. Nintendo chose to market the Wii U that way, though. So, I don't know. Go ahead.
No, it's K. I was gonna hop in.
Go ahead.
To be honest, what I think, and like I said, this is from my point of view, which is a non-loyal Nintendo guy. What I think they had the same kind of mindset Sony did after the PS2. That no matter we gonna call it a Wii U, it's gonna be close. People gonna like it because they like the Wii. Like that's the feeling I got from it. And so they didn't really need to do a lot because the name itself is gonna carry it. Even with some of the marketing. Like that's kind of the feel I got from it. Is that, you know what I'm saying, they were saying we're doing hardcore without truly doing stuff that made it hardcore. So that's kind of the feel I had from it, kind of the old Sony, next gen doesn't start until we say so kind of mindset. That's why I got from the Wii U. But that's like I said, that's my point of view.
Okay, let me ask this, Keith. Keith, do you got something you want to add? Because I want to throw something out that I noticed. But go ahead, Keith, if you got something you want to say here.
I have something to add. First of all, my Wii U was on life support, sir. I'm playing it. No. What Capcom is absolutely right that they thought that name was just going to carry over. But what Nintendo failed to realize was that the last few years of the Wii life,
it was dead.
For the first few years, actually, a lot of people had already put it in their closet. So even though the Wii U was better in every way, it was like, why do I want another one just to put it back in my closet?
Right.
Go ahead. I think you got something. Go ahead.
No. Finish your statement.
I mean, that's pretty much all I was gonna say. I just think that a lot of people been there, done that. I'm already turned off. I know what it is. I don't need this extra stuff.
Okay. All right. I agree. This is what I want to throw in here, though. I watched a video. I don't know who it was, where they showed the launch lineup for the Wii U commercial versus the Switch commercial. Now, a lot of people been saying that the Wii U has the worst, the Switch has the worst Nintendo lineup ever, right? So I'm watching the Wii U commercials, the original commercial for the Wii U, and we saw Super Mario U, New Super Mario U. We saw Nintendo Land. We saw Lego City. And I think they showed, Just Dance or something like that, or no, the sing-along karaoke game that I don't even know if it ever came out. And then they showed the commercial for the Super Bowl for the Switch. And you see Zelda, Breath of the Wild, you see Splatoon, you see Mario Kart 8, and I'm sitting here like, oh my God. And I got to thinking about it. Could it be that Nintendo simply had nothing to market with the Switch at launch, so they couldn't push it for real? Like, what game could they push that was going to make anybody want it at launch?
Are you talking about the Switch or the Wii U?
The Wii U.
Oh yeah, they didn't have nothing.
They didn't have, dude. Everybody been screaming about the launch lineup of the Switch. When I look at the commercial for the Super Bowl, that commercial's like, I got to get the Switch. When I look back on that commercial for the Wii U, I remember thinking, I can't wait till great games come to the Wii U. You know, like I can't wait till we see this Zelda we see it now. I can't wait till we see the Mario that we seeing with the Switch already. None of that was there at the beginning for the Wii U. We really didn't know what was coming. And Nintendo, I think the problem was not necessarily that Nintendo didn't know how to market it. They had nothing to market but the gamepad aspect. They had no game to market with it. Could that be it?
Yeah, I think so.
What you think, Quan, man? Keith, you say you think you agree, Keith?
Yeah, because you look back at it,
You breaking up a little bit. I want to make sure they hear you.
we used to say Nintendo was just getting out of the way for the third party, so the third party could establish themselves. But looking back, they really didn't have anything. And then I think the next big game that they brought out was Pikmin, and that was almost a year later, wasn't it?
That was the summer after. Yeah. What you think, Quan, man? Like, was it simply Nintendo literally didn't have anything to market for almost a year?
Pretty much. I mean, they should have sat up there and concentrated on their launch lineup a little bit better than what they did this past generation. You know, they didn't put enough of an effort, you know, to make sure that their first party go-tos were there.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. What do you think, K-Bon? Like,
I'm not fully sure. I mean, 'cause I don't remember the Wii U launch titles. So I mean, I was never in the market for one. So I was never really cared too much about what they had for their lineup. So I mean, I don't know what if there was a starvation at the beginning, or a marketable game at the beginning. I know that Zombie U definitely was one they put out there a lot. I remember that one. I saw that one, and I kind of did want to play it. But outside of that, you know, I don't know if they had any of the big hitters except for I think one in the Mario game that was.
That's what I'm saying. The Mario really what if we look back, New Super Mario Bros. U wasn't a strong enough game to push in any appealing way to the market that they needed to push it. I think that's what it was, but I don't think they had the game. Like right now, Zelda is doing Nintendo so much. Right now, Zelda is doing it by itself for real, and it's doing it. And
doing it for me.
The more you see of this game, the more you like and want to switch. And there was nothing like that at the launch of the Wii U. Like even down to like people talking about the launch lineup. Well, Lego City was a month, 2 months after the Wii U launch, and some of the games that they showed was not there at day one. When you saw the Switch, you saw Mario 8, you saw Splatoon 2, you saw Zelda, you saw Just Dance, and they made that look good. They didn't even show you Mario Odyssey. So it was just showing you what's going to be coming in the next few, at the launch to a few weeks to months afterwards. And it was enough to really make the commercial good. And I'm thinking back to the Wii U commercial. None of them games really excited me. I mean, I wanted to play Lego City, but I was waiting for what's coming down the road. What we gonna see next? Because this ain't gonna do it. And I think that was the problem. And that was and then when third party kind of snatched the rug away from under them and took Rayman Legend and all the other titles, it left Nintendo naked and exposed. Like you ain't got nothing. And I think that was the problem.
This kind of reminds me. I mean, I left a comment about this the last podcast I was in, and I kind of said this. I said it in the comment section, and people kind of jumped on me for saying it. But what I said was that Nintendo needs to learn how to market future games, how to get you excited for stuff coming down the pipeline. And what you're kind of talking about in the previous video with the Wii U is that they didn't really get you excited for what was coming out soon, you know. But the Switch, they didn't just show, they showed more than launch titles. They show, you know, Mario Kart doesn't come out for to the summertime. They showed Just Dance, but I don't think it comes out at launch. They showed some other titles that wasn't launch titles, but they're coming out. But it's still something to get you excited to say, hey, I want this Switch, or I need to get this Switch, which helps their marketing. And I said before, Sony does that. Sony will show you a trailer of a game that won't come out for 2 years. But
what happened? You muted yourself?
He muted himself.
Yeah, somebody.
Am I still here? Am I still here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear.
Yeah, but the whole 2 years, you're like, I gotta play. That's how I feel about God of War. I see it one time. I don't know when it comes out, but I gotta play it. And Nintendo can do more of that, getting you hype for something that's coming down the pipeline. I think that's gonna be a plus for them, and that has to do with marketing, and that's what they're showing. So I hope they continue to do that.
But
Just Dance does come out at launch, and
it does.
I think Mario Kart 8 comes out in April. But you're right. Nintendo did show us Odyssey, and that's not coming to the end of the year, but it's coming. Whereas with the Wii U, outside of really, we didn't know what was coming.
Oh, Splatoon, that's the game they showed. It's not coming out till.
Splatoon is coming in the summer, right? So go ahead, Keith. You had something you want to say?
Yeah, but I think the difference is between the Wii U and the Switch is these games are ready. I guarantee you, if Nintendo really wanted to, all these games can launch out. They can be there March 3rd. And I think
that's true too.
Wii U, they didn't want to show anything because none of those games are ready. But back to your point, they should have shown anything just to get you hyped, just to get you, Pikmin 3 or actually, let me not even say it because I can't remember what they actually showed.
I'm gonna say the truth, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they could have because I don't think they had anything. Basically, what we got on the Nintendo Wii U was, and I commend Nintendo. I think them games are being crafted right there on the spot. They didn't have anything, and the fact that we got Xenoblade a year before the end of the life of the Wii U is testament. We got the Mario Kart 8, we got the Smash Bros. We got those, but I think 3D World was literally Nintendo scrambling to have something on their Mario 3D World. They did a great job with the game, but I don't think that's what they would have ideally made had they had the opportunity and wasn't in the crunch that they were in with no third party, when third party kind of just bailed on them like they did. And Jon Shaw said this all the time, that he commended Nintendo. That's why he gives them a pass. And I can understand it. I was very critical of Nintendo, but hindsight, they were in a bad place and they literally didn't have nothing. And a lot of them games we played was being crafted in a year's time. It wasn't a lot of time spent on building them, like the Captain Toads, like the some of the stuff we got. I bet that stuff didn't have no long time development on it. It was Nintendo's cleverness and just throwing it out there, and it was still good, but it wasn't what we really wanted, but it was enough to where you was like, it was cool. But Nintendo, like what we seeing now is what we really wanted. And the Wii U is going to be a never-ending story. I think it's going to be an example, man, in gaming. I think good and bad is going to come from the Wii U. I really do. But let's continue, man. So Kimishima had some interviews where he released some doozies, man. First of all, he talked about the online and he released a price, I don't know how to phrase it, but like a price point, like an example of what the Switch online service is going to cost. And he said it's going to cost between $17 to $26 for the online services. So me and K-Bum was kind of had back and forth on Twitter with the video game Hersh. He told us to go to sleep. But anyway, I want to get your thoughts on this, Keith. I know Kwame had to step out, maybe he step back in. What do you think about that price point? And do you think it's good, bad, whatever? Go ahead and share your thoughts.
Personally, I'm just not a fan of paying for online, but it is cheaper than the competition. So in that regards, Now that they got the price out the way, I think people can sleep and rest a little easier. But now we need to know what we're getting, like fully. Now that you got that out the way, we need to fully know what we're getting, and actually, we need to nail down the actual price. I'm pretty sure Reggie and his team will have. They can market it between those prices. Probably what he was meaning.
Right.
So hopefully, now that you're gonna be paying for online, hopefully this means that Nintendo is actually gonna do something properly.
Break it up again.
Now, hopefully they can do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you coming in more better now.
So hopefully Nintendo can do online properly, and I don't know. I'm just not a fan of paying for online, but it's a good price range.
Okay. All right, K-Bomb, let's get your take because I want to hear.
Well, you already heard a lot of what I had to say because we went back and forth on Twitter. But I think it's cool that they can come in so low. If they're going to charge, definitely come in lower. Especially if your online system may not. I mean, this is assumption may not be up to par with the other guys. Definitely come in lower is the best thing you can do. I kind of personally question if they were coming in like $15 a year. That kind of led me to question. Why are you charging anyway? If you're coming in at that low price, I know $15 times a million people, if a million people got it, is a lot of money. But personally, I'm just saying you do put a nasty stigma with your property by now charging for online, and a lot of people that are now turned off, not from your system, but just kind of turned off in general because of the fact that you made a stance about not charging, and now you charge. And so my question was, if they're charging that little, why even charge it all? If you could have kept it free and still offer some of the same things. So, I like I said, if they're going to charge, at least charge less.
Okay.
And I think that giving it for free, and I kind of said on Twitter, I think the video game her kind of said as well, that some of the stuff may not be 100% ready. And so definitely with that free trial that happens for a couple of months, it's probably the best thing than to come out of the gate charging with unfinished services. That's definitely not what you want to do, to make people, you don't need to give anybody else any more room to stand on to say why they don't like Nintendo. So I think that was a good decision for them to do. And the price is very reasonable.
I saw some people try to kind of criticize Kimishima for revealing this price point, feeling like he revealed it too early. I'm like, I think he was smart because it was a place of contention. And like Keith said, now that we know that we're not going to be charged, we're not going to break 60. The bank. Yeah. Then you can kind of rest easy that, okay, dang, they got it for that cheap. Yeah, of course they need to come out and like Keith said, show us some more about what we get in and what the 15 or what the 17 or possibly $26 is giving us. But I wanna spin kind of what K-Bum said another way. It could be signaling that it's not as good or up par to what the competition is doing. That's a possible way to look at it. That's a fair way to look at it. But let me ask this, and it's just to play devil's advocate, to generate conversation. What if, let's say in America, it costs us $20? That's what I'm thinking it's going to cost. Is us $19.99 for the year. That sounds like an American number. $19.99 for the whole year service, right? And let's say that minus the free games, everything on the service lives up and actually is on par with what the PlayStation offers and Sony and Microsoft offers with online services, meaning the experience is comparable, the voice chat experiences are comparable, all of that is there minus the free games and extra things that they give you other than those services. Will the question then turn to why is Sony and Microsoft charging so much? Or would the qualifier be that Microsoft and Sony gives us free games, so that justifies the $40 more that we're paying for the year? Who wants Cable? I'm throwing it at you, Cable. This is something we've talked about on Twitter. Let's just kind of bring it up to in front of the ears and see what they think. What do you feel?
If they're able to offer the same amount of services, then definitely you should question.
No, not the same amount. I'm saying everything minus.
That's what I'm saying. Everything, the services themselves. If they're able to offer the same services, it does leave ground to question why does Sony, Microsoft charge so much. But I said but my stance on this. I'll say first. So yes, I think you should question if they can offer the same thing for less price. You definitely should question why we're being charged so much. But also on the other hand of that, we also have the mindset of value. And I kind of said this, and someone already said it in the comment section. When you are getting those new games every month, those free games every month, do you feel like you're getting the value for that $40 or $50 you're getting charged for Sony? If you're not getting the value for your money, then you should definitely either question it or not pay for it. Is my stance. But I think they knew they were going to charge more, and so they threw in more so-called value to the price so that it doesn't seem like it's hurting you as much as you think.
Okay. Now my only pushback to that, and I'm gonna keep the floor, is Sony and Microsoft, in our position as the consumers, if we want to play online, we have no choice but to pay this $60 premium, right? That's the cover fee for us to access the ability to play online, to talk with our friends, cross-party chat, all that stuff. We had to pay that $60. Well, it was $49. Now it's $59, so that's $60.
Yep.
My question is the free games making that worthwhile, or is it the fact that we have no choice either way it go? So if we want to play online, we got to pay this price. Could they offer us, let's say we don't want the free games, right? Would it be better to have a optional price point to where if you just want the online services minus the free games, hey, we could give you that for $30 a year? Just curious, now this is all hinged on if Nintendo's service pan out to be up to par and up to snuff. Should Sony offer a service that is just for the online portion, not for the free games, almost like they was doing with the gold and silver and bronze stuff they was doing?
Yeah, I'll let Keith touch that first.
Go ahead, Keith.
Well, I know what Sony would say, and they would say, well, we have a bigger install base starting back from the PS3, so we have a bigger infrastructure so we can justify our price even without the games. With Nintendo, I think Nintendo, and I'm just going to try to play devil's advocate here. I think Nintendo is trying to lean you in, meaning that on down the line, if Sony and Microsoft don't raise prices, they're going to raise theirs eventually.
Bring it up a little bit, bro.
Am I? Dang, what's going on tonight? Yeah. No, I said I think Nintendo's trying to wean us in by making the entry price so low that later on, if Sony and Microsoft do not lower their prices, they're probably going to try to raise their prices. So it's kind of like, I think everybody's going to be able to say it eventually. But like I said, I think Sony can and Microsoft can justify the infrastructure. And that's why the price. I don't know if I answered your question though.
Yeah, you got it. So you saying that Nintendo is coming in at this price point to put the squeeze on Sony and Microsoft, But if Sony and Microsoft don't bite, then they're eventually going to up their price.
Eventually.
Anyway.
Eventually. If the Switch takes off and it sells, yeah, they're going to raise their price. They're going to say we have more consumers than we thought we were going to have. We need to build a bigger infrastructure. Whether that be true or not, you know, I think they just gave wiggle room.
Okay, K-Bob.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it because that's definitely what Sony did. Sony came in free for years, and they came in with charge service. But then they talked about they needed to build bigger infrastructure and everything else that they gave you for the reason for that. So yeah, I can totally see that happening.
Now,
I didn't answer the question though. I didn't answer the actual
go ahead.
question. I believe Xbox did it with their silver, bronze, and gold package where they allowed you to have tier system, and I think they dropped it down just to having 2 after a while. But yeah, I think for a consumer, that'd be really cool from a consumer point of view. If I can pay cheaper just to pay online. But if Sony just want all that money, I don't see them doing it. But I don't know. I think they have to weigh the option. Do you get more money by offering a tier system? Or because bottom line for them, they want to do what makes them money. And if they're going to lose a lot of money.
I think it would be smart because you'll get, to me, Microsoft and Sony would get way more people online if I could go to the store and spend $20 for a year. I guarantee you there's probably like 15, 20 other people. I mean, millions of other people just like me who would do it that has yet to. Now I play online, but I don't buy it annually. I buy it when I got a game that needs it, but then I kind of like here now I don't have it. But if all I had to pay was $20, and I don't want to pay for online, but I understand that this is the beast we as gamers have created because we accepted it. So now we can't get mad at the situation that we accepted. Well, many of us accept it. Now it forces other us to now, have to buy it as well. So I got over that a while ago, having to pay for online. And now that I like the experience, I like jumping on with K-Bum. I like jumping on with King Cooper. I like jumping on with Jon Shaw and all the others I was jumping on with and really enjoying myself. So I want to continue to do that. And of course, I'm going to want to do that on the Switch. So if they had an offer for $20, minus all the free games and the perks that they have on the PlayStation Store or the Microsoft Store or whatnot, I would get that. I would buy both of them. And I would have online for both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 every year for $20. And I know $60 ain't a whole lot. But sometimes when I walk in the store, I just ain't finna approve. I'm not going to get $60 approved by the WIFE. You know what I'm saying? Where if I walk into the store and say, "Hey, babe, I'm gonna buy this online for $20," it's gonna be fine. But when they say, "Hey, babe, I want to get this online. How much it costs? $59.99. What you got to wait?" I'm like, well,
every year.
So, I mean, not every year. I'm just saying, like.
I'm saying you got to do it every year.
Yeah, you got to do it every year. $20. I'm so like when the key machine was said $17 to $26, I was like, and deep inside I was excited because I was like, I know I could get this every year without any hassle, any pushback. But $60, even though we could do it, well, man, she gonna look at me like, man, look, when did you just buy something last? What you doing that day? So I don't know, man. I think they need to have different entry levels. If you want all the perks, this is the perk level. This is the pro level. You get the games, you get this all for $60 a year. If you just want online services, you want to play with your friends, voice chat with your friend, here the entry fee for a year is $19. I think they'll make more money. Because more people would not have a problem with paying $20 or $25 for a year. So anyway, let's continue, man. One other thing he brought up was the fact that Nintendo has been heavily trying out VR with the Switch. And it is something that is coming down the road. I'm gonna throw this at Keith. Were you, when you heard that, was you shocked?
Was I shocked? No. And I think we kind of played around with the idea of the Wii U, the Switch having VR. So no, I wasn't shocked. I was kind of like,
Whatever you did to your mic, you fixed it there for a second, but it went back out.
let me try this again.
Might have a short in it. I don't know.
I'm using my headphones.
Okay, yeah, it's an angle that you hold them at that it's right on, but then it goes to, then I don't know what happens.
All right, am I good now?
Now try it again.
Say something.
Try it again.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. What was I saying?
We were talking about VR, and we kind of talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't shocked because if you look at the way they set it up, a tablet, and we already know what you can do with phones now. In some tablets, you can put them in VR headsets. The Joy-Cons, how they're set up and how they are designed to be used for like motion control. It's kind of like they wrapped their head around all of it and future-proof themselves, I guess you could say. So no, I wasn't shocked at all. It was kind of like a sigh of relief. Like, yes, at least they're thinking about it. Or at least
was you shocked? Was you shocked that he said it this early though?
In that, yeah, I'm shocked that he said all of this today. Anyway, was it today?
I think it's either today or yesterday.
I'm shocked that he said all of this. And like not release this type of information in like a press conference or direct or something.
Right. Okay. All right. K-Bon.
I didn't really hear the what they actually talked about, except for now when you're telling me here. I think their dabble in VR is good. Like I said, you already made a video on it. I think it was an excellent video. And if people haven't seen that video, I think it's a pretty good video to go back and watch it. Mr. Prophet, leveled head over here, making prophetic claims about Nintendo. But no, I think it's a valid thing to do. I mean, I don't. It would be fool of themselves to not sit back and weigh the direction of the industry, and the industry is moving towards this VR alternative reality type gaming. So they would be fooling themselves to come out with a brand new system in 2017 and not entertain the idea of VR. So I think it's a very good thing that they're doing. If they're doing it or not, you know what I'm saying, that's on them. They have to make the financial decision on themselves, just like Microsoft is probably not doing VR, but probably doing augmented reality. But it does serve them purpose to make sure they do their due diligence to investigate that.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I was shocked that I'm not shocked that the Switch is going to be capable of doing VR. I kind of was a prophet on that, wasn't I? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I wasn't shocked that the Switch was doing VR, but I am shocked that Kimishima was willing to disclose that so early, like not allow that to just float around rumor mill and speculation and possibility, and what I'm saying, people guesstimating that it's going to happen, to literally say we're really vehemently looking into VR. We're actually working it and trying it out with the Switch. And to me, like Keith said, the Joy-Con, and we all said it, I've said it, but just piggyback what he said tonight, the Joy-Cons, the motion controls, the attention to detail with the haptic feedback, all that speaks to a company that is already committed to VR. And I will go out on a limb again and say this. I know everybody's saying that the Switch screen is 720p resolution. I'm thinking that's just talking about what the screen is going to display in undocked mode. I think the screen itself is capable of 1080p when needs be, or when powered, or when something is hooked up to it to increase or to run a steady flow of power to it. I believe that screen will be 1080p, even though undocked, it will only display 720p. That's just my belief. I know a lot of people think the screen itself is 720p, limited to only being capable of rendering 720p. I think the screen on the Switch is 1080p, but is relegated to only displaying 720p because of the undocked power. That's my belief. So if Nintendo is serious about VR, then they already know what everyone that talks about VR said, that you need 1080p capability on the screen. So the way at least that's what they say the screen will have to be able to do in the type of way Nintendo will have to do it if they're going to use the Switch for the actual head, which they had their patent. The Switch fit into this headset like the Samsung Galaxy VR experience,
right?
Similar to that. So the Switch will have to be, the screen would have to be capable of 1080p resolution. And I believe it is. I just think undocked it only displays 720 resolution for the game. But yeah, go ahead.
If you put it, let's say make a headset for it and you slide it in, and like you said, it's only down clock, not down clock, but it's only dropping the resolution because of power. What if the headset has its own?
Your mic going out again. Your mic going out. Make sure your mic right.
No, I was saying, what if the headset that they designed has its own power supply?
Right.
Back up to 1080p, and you get playing time longer than the 2.5 to 6 hours that they rated it. That'd be crazy.
Okay. I know what he said was that the only thing that they right now, what they're trying to figure out is how to make it comfortable for playing for long periods of time. That's the only thing they haven't quite worked out yet. So to take that into account, it seems like Nintendo is already capable of doing VR. They're trying to make sure that it's comfortable to be for the screen to be at as close to your eyes like that. And like me and K-Bum experienced, you ain't gonna want to play VR for a long time because it just ain't gonna, your eyes ain't gonna want to be in that position for that long. Even though it don't look like it's right on your eyeballs know that it's right on your eyeballs. You see what I'm saying? Like after a while, that light being so close on your eyeballs it creates a fatigue. Am I wrong to say that, K-Bum?
No, you're right about that.
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out how to limit that to where you can play it that way for a longer period of time, or for long periods of time. That's what he said. So they must understand that too long playing VR must be damaging or straining on the eyeballs. So, and it is, because I mean, when I played it, my eyes was tired after I took that headset off, and it was like maybe 25, 30 minutes. You kind of, your eyes.
You play that dungeon game for a while, bro.
How long do you think I played? Maybe 45?
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
Okay. But what I'm saying is my eyes was tired once I got done playing. So
yeah,
just imagine like 3 hours, 4 hours, like
right.
we would with Zelda or something. That would be way too much. Yeah. All right, we finna end it here, man. I'm gonna go to this last topic, and then we gonna get out of here. So I want to get y'all opinion on this, because this is a lot of chirping going on around this pricing of the Switch itself. So Capcom, Platinum Games, Bandai Namco, and a few other third-party Eastern developers were interviewed and were asked questions about the Switch. And one of the main things that they were taken away by was the fact that Nintendo was able to get the Switch to that price point with their experience of what's in the hood, under the hood of the Switch and the Joy-Cons. They was thinking that the Switch itself would cost $299 without the Joy-Cons. But they're saying with the Joy-Cons and the Switch all packaged together for $299 is remarkable. They really couldn't believe Nintendo was able to do that. So with that being said, Keith, like, I hear a lot of folks saying, that the Switch is too expensive, costs too much. Are we downplaying what this system is capable of doing when we hear developers saying some of the stuff that they're starting to say? Like, are we not giving enough respect to what it's capable of doing?
I think people have been sleeping on Nintendo's hardware for a very long time.
Your mic out again, bro. Yeah, you sound like you in a tunnel way away.
No, I said I think people have been sleeping on Nintendo's hardware for way too long, all the way back from the GameCube, even the Wii, and especially the Wii U. People have been sleeping on Nintendo's hardware and always thinking that because of what they put out for us, like graphically, that the consoles aren't worth it. But Nintendo packs a lot of tech into their consoles. But I just think we don't know what the Switch is capable of. We only know based on what, and I will say this, I don't know if anybody will agree with me, but a lot of these are Wii U games coming out on the Switch early on. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
We don't.
You stole my point.
Oh, okay. But a lot of the games that may come up after this may be more graphically intense. I don't know. It don't really matter. But we just simply don't know what it's fully capable of doing. So right now, it's a lot of knee-jerk reactions, but it is what it is. I'm gonna trust the developers, the people that actually has the dev kits, and see what they do with it.
Okay, K-Bob.
All right, phrase your question again, because I know how I want to answer it, but I just want to make sure that's the question that you're asking. Did you hear me? I was actually he walked away. I was asking you to frame your question again because I know how I want to answer it, but I want to make sure that's the question you're actually asking.
Okay, the question is, when we hear third party, well, these are Eastern third party. We heard a few from West, but these are Eastern third party developers who have these Switch dev kits and Joy-Cons making games for. They said one of the main things that shocked them about the January 12th reveal was the fact that Nintendo was able to package all of that in for the price that they said that they're giving it to us for. So they were taking away that Nintendo was able to reach that price point with the tech that's inside of the Switch and the Joy-Con. And so with that being said, my question are, if developers are saying that they can't believe Nintendo was able to reach that price point, are we downplaying a little too much the capability of the Switch? That's my question.
Okay. So that's what you're saying. Are we downplaying? I thought you were referring to the downplaying the price, but you're referring to the technology of the Switch. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Wait a minute. I'm saying both. Answer both.
Answer both. Cool. All right. So, do we want the good or the bad first? I'll start off with the bad first, and I'll end up with some good news. So, the bad is this. Yes, the developers are saying good news about their surprise at the price they got under $299. But would we care if the developers came out and said the same thing for the PS3 when it came out? Not saying that the Switch is the $500-$600. I'm just saying if developers came out and said, "Wow, we can't believe they got the PS3 with all the technology for $600," we can't believe they did that. Would that matter to me as a consumer? The answer is probably no, because I still have to spend that $299. So I have to make sure that my commitment and what I'm paying is what I find value, not what other people see value. And so even with that information, I guess what I'm trying to say is that even with that information, I still stand by the point that I think the Switch is a little bit higher than what it should be. Is also taking account of what the market is now. And I said before, I know these systems are 2, 3, 4 years old when it comes to the PS4 and the Xbox One. But you have to understand that the Switch is not competing against the 2015 or 2014, 13 PlayStation 4. It's competing against the 2017 PlayStation 4, which you can get for $249. And so, you know, they have to be aware of the market that they are currently in, not just saying, you know, they were $299 when they first came out. And so that's kind of part why I say the bad. It doesn't really matter because the consumer still has to make a decision on their own. But
to interject right quick, but that's not apples to apples. That's apples to oranges.
Well, it's not apples because they're not releasing this at the same time. So we can't compare apples to apples because the consumer, if you don't have a PS4, you're going to compare the PS4 now to the Switch now. You're not going to compare it to the PS4 where it launched at $399. If you're going to buy something right now, you're comparing those two prices.
But even still, the PS4 can't do what the PS3. The PS4 can't do what the Switch can do.
No, I'm not disagreeing that. No. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. That is completely obvious. But when we're just talking numbers, that's where we're talking. That's where we're looking at. We're looking at the price. Yeah, but soon. So yeah, you have to weigh what it does, and then you have to weigh the price as well. And what I'm saying is that you're not comparing, when you're comparing prices, you're not comparing to the $399 PlayStation. You actually are comparing it to the $249 PlayStation for someone who has neither and is trying to make a decision, which one do I buy? So that's okay, cool. And I do say yes, we have been downplaying the Nintendo Switch and what it can do. I definitely think it's a very, very, very capable system. But I think Nintendo has downplayed their own system. When they released the information about Zelda, the difference between the Zelda Wii U version and the Switch version, they said that the graphics were the same or whatever. They said that the one is going to have HD sound, and they're both going to run 1080p, but one is going to have a smoother frame rate. You know, that's what they said. You know, very, very vague and plain difference between the two. But when you actually see the two games side by side, it's completely different. It's not even close. And so I'm saying that Nintendo is downplaying their system, that they're not giving themselves enough credit. When you saw that distance shot of the Switch version of Zelda compared to the distance shot of the Wii U version, I mean, that was night and day, man. And they did not put that. They didn't even show a screenshot like that when they talked about the difference between the Wii U version and the Switch version. That's their fault.
That's because they try not to,
Bump
I guess,
that.
offend.
Bump that.
The
Wii U is dead. Stop caring about his feelings.
Right, and Leah said they want to sell the Wii U version too, man. They don't want to kill the sales of the Wii U version. But anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I'm saying we're downplaying it and Nintendo's downplaying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, let me answer this and we get out of here, man, because we ain't at 2 hours yet, but we close. Answer the first question. Far as the pricing of the $299, I feel that form factor has to play a part into the pricing. Like, okay, when you look at the PlayStation 4, yes, it was $399, but look at the size and the mobility of the PlayStation 4. It is limited to where you could go with it, where you could take it. There's a whole bunch of stuff you got to do to get that experience to a different room or a different house or whatnot. Whereas the Switch, to be so compact and to be able to generate what is generating with the form factor, that's expensive. Like, to be able to have that type of horsepower squeeze inside that small tablet, that's expensive, man. Like, that's really ingenious. It's very technically superior to a lot of what we've seen. Like, I think in that sense we're downplaying it, and I think we're actually downplaying the capabilities of the Switch in general. Like you said, K-Bomb, Nintendo didn't really push the differences of the Zelda version on the Wii U versus the Switch.
Man, they
And
should have
like I
been
said,
boasting. That game is beautiful. They
me
tripping.
personally, I would have because I would want to provoke those who have the Wii U to want to get the Switch version. But you know, the Nintendo is trying to not upset those who might be already sore at the fact that they waited all this time for this game to come out, and now it's coming out to the Switch. And this is the whole purpose they bought the Wii U for. Because I'm one of them guys that's what I bought the Wii U for, and I didn't even get it. I'm not even gonna get it on the Wii U. But anyway, I find it that I also feel like it's very disrespectful how Western developers are treated as gods compared to Eastern. I feel like because these are Eastern developers saying that no one is going to give it any credit or any merit, but if a Respawn guy from a Western developer says something and they never even experienced the Switch, it gets all coverage. But you don't see no one running with Bandai Namco, Capcom, Platinum. This is it's like 5 or 6 different developers who are all saying they're shocked by the pricing. But we hear little to nothing about these guys. But a drunk Respawn developer who never experienced it says it's crap. That get coverage across the board. And I was listening to this podcast, and they picked that up and they ran with that when they was talking about the Switch. But I guarantee you won't hear nothing about Bandai Namco, Capcom, Platinum Games, and a plethora of other developers who are singing a whole different swan song. So, yeah, I think we're downplaying it. I think that Nintendo is intentionally downplaying the differences between the Switch and the Wii U version of Zelda. But that's business. That's business.
Man, I was mad. I saw that game. I'm like, I can see the difference. Tell everybody, Nintendo.
But I feel like once Mario Odyssey hits and we start seeing those games develop for the Switch from ground up, like D2K, not D2K, but Keith said, a lot of what we're seeing right now, including Zelda Breath of the Wild, are literally Wii U games being brought to the Switch. I would even say ARMS. ARMS might be the only game that ain't Wii U. And it looks different than, it don't look better than Zelda, but it has a different polish than the carts, the Splatoons, and the Zeldas. So when we start seeing ground up games come and we get off into a little more time with the system under their belt and the third party start to take their shot at it, I think we're going to be really shocked at what the Switch can do. I really do. I feel like we're going to really, really be dumbfounded by the capability of this tablet hybrid home console device that we're going to have in our homes, man. I really do. So I think it's going to start with Mario Odyssey is going to blow people away. Because I believe if you look at Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild is beautiful, but it looks like Mario Odyssey is more technically pushing the system to me in a way that Zelda isn't.
I don't know about that.
I mean, if you look at...
No, you're probably right. I'm just probably biased because I think Zelda looks so beautiful.
Zelda is beautiful. Zelda is beautiful from an artistic direction, the way that they going about it. I'm saying like certain things that I noticed in Odyssey graphically is more intense than what I see in Zelda. If that makes any sense. Like it looks like it's pushing more power. It takes more power to do what Mario is doing. Maybe I'm wrong with that because Zelda is a big open world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Open world doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. So let me look at the comments and see if I ain't got flamed yet by what I just said. No, I haven't
probably
gotten
not.
played.
Ours Project Giant Robot.
Yeah, they canceled Giant Robot.
Yeah, they canceled it.
And K-Bun, arms look like Overwatch. I'm gonna go with Ace Tech HD. I agree. Arms do look like it has the same type of artistic, the same type of graphical template or artistic template that Overwatch has. If you look at it, look at the character models and the colors and the stage design and the way it looks. It does look like Overwatch. Just look at it. Just look at it and tweet me. Tweet me.
Cricket. This guy. Cricket.
Anyway, that's it, man. That's it. Jon Shaw, let me know, man. I forgot. Since Jon Shaw went to PAX South, he took a lot of vacation time, so he at work. So he's gonna be trying to make up for that time he took off. So he might not be on the podcast this week and maybe not next week. So we gonna get a chance to probe his mind about his hands-on experience. But if you want early access to that or you want to read about that, go to fulleffectgaming.com and check that out. Shouts out to Kwame Chu. I know he had to step out. I know he's having some things going on with the daughter, so daddy come first in his podcast and stuff. But let me let these other dudes sign out, man. Final thoughts. Keith Norris.
Man, I just wish Nintendo would have told me about these hidden fees, man.
What hidden fees? Okay, wait a minute. You know, maybe I'm gonna have to ask this. Make sure your mic right too. Your mic messed up, but I heard Nia talking about this. What hidden fees?
I was being sarcastic, but there was a I think it was a Forbes article that was talking about all the hidden fees that you have to buy with when you buy a Switch. They said you had to buy a Pro controller. They said that you had to buy another dock.
They that's more of that doggone
Say
mislead.
what?
Yeah, okay. I saw the title on hers and I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I thought it might have been something I missed. So basically, they just trying to muddle the information again, like they always do.
Exactly. None of that stuff you have to buy, people. Go home and play it.
Right.
Or go outside and play it.
Yeah, Mario, I'm telling you, man, I ain't getting burnt because I was right. Mario Odyssey.
I ain't get burnt because they tired and they done start doing other stuff. I ain't mess with you.
Yeah. All right, I ain't getting burnt. That's all I was worried about. But anyway, go ahead, K-Bon.
What am I signing out?
Yeah. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man. I hope March. I know it's a long way away, but I hope March 3rd is going to be a great day for gaming. Totally, as hopefully Nintendo can get their swagger back. But other than that, man, it was fun. I enjoyed it. My wife, I got a chance to hang out with the wife. She came down and chill with me as I did the podcast. So I got a chance to spend time with her. That's why I wasn't gonna be on, man. My wife been working hard, so I want to spend some time with her. But she said, told me to go ahead and do the podcast. She's gonna come down my basement and chill with me. So I got me a good one. Yeah.
Man, Miss K-Bomb was down there listening to the old staff. Oh man, that's what's up.
For sure.
I'm gonna give my final thoughts, man. I enjoyed myself tonight. Happy K-Bomb could jump on and share his time with us and his wife. Keith, man, happy to have you on, and Quan, man, in his absence. Good podcast, man. We covered a lot and a good timing. Man, I'm gonna say it again. I said it in one of my videos, man. I know we love to escape with the gaming. I know we love video games, but look, man, keep your eyes open to what's going on around you in our country. Pray for our country. Lift these people up in your prayers, man, that God give them wisdom and guidance and a true heart to serve people, and because it's needed. There's a lot going on around us. Don't be so lost that you end up being lost. Amen. So anyway.
Man, that's the truth, bro.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. I know I ain't ready to go churchy on y'all, but hey, look, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's real talk from my heart. we are in a different place and time in this country. It's time for us to be paying attention as young adults, and I want y'all to do that. As we enjoy our gaming, make sure you're watching what's going on. Every now and again, check out what's going on, read what's going on, and know it so that you understand the points and what's happening. So the next time you vote, we vote with an educated vote. Amen. Amen. So anyway.
Amen.
All right. So till next time, folks, this was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Catch you on the sunny side.
You are listening to the Live and Level Gamers podcast in association with FullEffectGaming.com. See, we don't play those games. We just play those games. Level Head Gamer. Jon Shaw, K-Bomb 20, D2K, Jedi Knight. The Live and Level Gamers podcast, where gamers come to talk.